Hi guys, JT here. Today I'm bringing you some information on the Humble Bundle 15 for 15 bundle of March 2026. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you the viewers for watching my silly videos. I hope they're helpful. Most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. But first, a word from our sponsor, JT After Dark. You've read the threads, you've seen the warnings, but you haven't heard them like this. I'm JT. I take the internet's most terrifying stories and give them a voice. From Reddit's deepest archives to the legends that haunt the web, I bring the horror to life. Join me on JT After Dark. Subscribe now and let's see what's hiding in the shadows. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have Rocket Rats, a survivors-like roguelite where you play as a rat, battling waves of cheese-based enemies on the moon. It is a fast-paced pixel art bullet hell where your main goal is simple: survive, collect cheese, and upgrade yourself into a rodent of destruction. The game drops you into a small lunar arena with no room to hide. Enemies come fast, swarming you in increasingly chaotic waves, but the tight map forces smart movement and decision making. You will level up quickly, and each run offers a fun spread of upgrades, from lightning strikes and poison effects to star allies who fight by your side. Builds feel strong, but the real magic is in the synergy between upgrades. As you rack up cheese, you will unlock new rats with their own weapons and skill trees. Each character feels distinct, but the meta progression can feel a bit shallow. Some trees lack depth, and you may find yourself wishing for more paths or meaningful choices. Still, there's something satisfying about finding your favorite rat and perfecting their loadout. What Rocket Rats lacks in long-term content, it makes up for in charm. The presentation is top-notch, with crisp UI, catchy music, and adorable sprites. It is easy to pick up and hard to put down, even if it does not have the replayability of bigger survivors likes. If you're after a quick, fun, and affordable survival fix, with just the right amount of chaos, Rocket Rats is well worth the launch. Just don't expect rockets, only rats. At number 2 we have Necroking, a turn-based tactics roguelite that plunges you into the shadowy role of a necromancer wielding immense dark powers. With a focus on deck building and strategy, you'll summon legions of skeletons and undead minions to conquer settlements tainted by life. This game invites you to embrace the darkness, boasting a deck of over 30 undead units and procedurally generated levels. Each playthrough offers fresh challenges, demanding sharp tactical thinking and adaptability. The pixel art aesthetic sets the tone perfectly, delivering a hauntingly beautiful world brimming with gothic charm. Combat revolves around quick decisions and strategic execution. While some encounters are thrilling, others can feel repetitive due to limited viable build options. Deck building enthusiasts will enjoy customizing their skull deck, but balancing issues, particularly in later stages, may detract from the experience. Necroking thrives in its early game, where resource management and strategy blend seamlessly. However, the difficulty curve flattens as you progress, leaving veterans of the genre craving a more substantial challenge. The lack of refined resource tooltips and simplistic mechanics in certain areas might frustrate those seeking depth. In a bundle, this game's value is undeniable. Whether you're a casual player looking for an accessible entry into roguelites, or someone enamored with the necromantic theme, Necroking delivers a captivating, albeit occasionally flawed experience. For hardcore enthusiasts, it may fall short of its potential, but its charm and replayability make it a worthy addition to your library. At number 3 we have Kingsgrave, a retro-style action-adventure game that casts you as a long-dead king resurrected by the hopes of his people. What you return to, though, is a plague-ravaged kingdom filled with monsters and decay. Your goal is clear: fight the creatures, rescue civilians, rebuild your town, and slowly reclaim your lost power. You'll begin with only a basic scepter, and face clunky but functional combat. You click to attack and dodge while facing a mouse cursor. Nothing flashy, and you might find yourself abusing environmental traps rather than relying on real skill. It works, but the thrill is just not there. Where Kingsgrave does shine is in its puzzle design. The tools you unlock for combat also serve puzzle functions. A crossbow can eliminate enemies and activate distance switches, for example. None of the puzzles are overly challenging, but solving them and opening new map areas gives you satisfying aha moments, provided you've collected the necessary gear. Progress is tied to exploration and town building. You'll gather life essence by defeating enemies, and use it to restore buildings that provide useful perks, like new weapons or healing zones. The start feels slow due to scattered resources, but once it gets going, it becomes more engaging. Visually, the game leans into its Super Nintendo era inspiration with a nice pixel art style, though the world and enemies can look bland early on. If you're seeking deep combat or a gripping narrative, Kingsgrave won't hold you, but for a short, nostalgic trip with solid mechanics, it is a worthy little adventure. At number 4 we have The Invisible Hand, a game that simulates the world of finance and stock trading. You start off as a paid intern at Various, a financial company in a world recovering from a market crash. You compete with another candidate for an analyst position, and whoever meets the financial goals first wins the job. You gain a competitive edge. You use insider information from Geist, a shady program that gives you access to confidential data. The game allows you to buy and sell stocks based on your own decisions, meeting daily goals and trying to beat your competition to keep your job. The game has a great educational potential, allowing players to learn about market trends, social media trends, and political and economic plots that can affect stock prices. The storyline builds alongside your portfolio, creating an immersive experience that can be stressful and exciting at the same time. The game also includes a clever feature that allows you to speed up or slow down time by drinking coffee or tea. However, the game suffers from scope creep and lack of polish. The forced fraternizing, buying real estate, cars, and furniture feels incomplete, unimportant, and unnecessary. The game overwhelms players with the sheer amount of things they are allowed to do, which detracts from the main mechanic of stock trading. Despite its drawbacks, The Invisible Hand is an engrossing and fun game for those interested in the world of finance and stock trading. It offers an opportunity to experience the thrill of making gains while investing in highly unethical things with real consequences. The game eases you in gently on all difficulties, and basic instruction will get you very far for the first little bit. If you've been waiting for a stock market simulator, The Invisible Hand is absolutely it. At number 5 we have DISTRAINT 2, a 2D psychological horror adventure that picks up immediately after the first entry's conclusion. Following the debt collector Price, you embark on a journey through a distorted reality to restore hope and find purpose. The gameplay is intentionally simplistic, focusing on side-scrolling exploration, light inventory-based puzzles, and text-driven dialogue. You spend your time interacting with the environment and a cast of unusual characters who personify emotions like agony, reason, and greed. The art style is a unique fusion of hand-drawn pixel art and atmospheric lighting that creates a deceivingly playful yet devilish charm. You'll notice that the environments are often dark and gritty, occasionally broken by bright flashback sequences that help solve puzzles and flesh out Price's past. Tension is maintained through creepy monsters and disturbing visual glitches, accompanied by menacing sound effects that act as audio cues for safety. While the puzzles are never overly taxing, they allow the powerful narrative to remain the focus. The core of your experience is a resonating story about mental health and redemption. Despite the simplistic mechanics and sometimes complicated plot, the game succeeds because of its emotional weight and life-affirming message. It proves that bite-sized experiences can tackle heavy themes with maturity and heart. If you seek a narrative-driven title with a quirky aesthetic and an impactful conclusion, DISTRAINT 2 is a competent sequel that delivers. It is a grim yet surprisingly charming journey that will leave you reflecting on Price's path long after the credits roll. At number 6 we have DISTRAINT, a 2D psychological horror adventure that follows Price, an ambitious young man working for a property seizure firm. To secure a partnership, you must evict vulnerable tenants, including an elderly woman and a drug addict. While the premise appears simple, the game skillfully explores the narrow distance between greed and humanity. Price is not a typical villain. His humble desire for a working coffee maker allows you to sympathize with his moral decay. The horror elements are not designed for cheap jump scares. Instead, you encounter surreal imagery, like a bloody elephant or flickering television static, representing Price's intensifying guilt. These haunting sequences are elevated by masterful sound design. The atmospheric noises and tense musical cues effectively construct a sense of dread that masks the more standard visual artwork. Throughout your journey, you solve puzzles that are clever rather than frustrating. One memorable sequence involves using a mysterious green substance to shift dimensions, requiring precise timing to navigate a decaying environment. You'll also uncover dark secrets within a nursing home, further emphasizing the depravity of the world, price, and habits. Though the experience is brief, lasting less than 3 hours, the narrative feels complete. The ending delivers a gripping twist that brings the story full circle, leaving you with plenty to ponder long after the credits roll. Despite minor grammar issues and its short length, the game is a worthwhile experience. It proves that a well-told story and immersive audio can turn a straightforward adventure into something truly memorable and haunting. At number 7 we have Pile Up Box by Box, a cooperative 3D puzzle platformer where you and up to 3 others control charming cardboard cubes to stack, bounce, and solve your way through whimsical stages. Whether playing solo or with friends, it is a non-violent, family-focused adventure designed with accessibility and teamwork in mind. You start in a central hub and unlock new levels by collecting keys from completed stages. Each level throws a fresh objective your way. Rescue frogs, fix projectors, solve zany platforming puzzles, all while using boxes, springs, and even a tongue-licking frog cube to reach tricky spots. The mechanics are simple, and the controls are easy to grasp even for younger or less experienced players. Working together feels natural and rewarding. Whether forming staircases out of your own bodies or passing boxes between platforms, coordination is key and often hilarious. Collecting golden cubes and hoops adds replay value, unlocking cosmetics, secret areas, and quirky arcade machines. The pastel cardboard art style is irresistibly cute, and the music brings enough variety to keep things lively. Unfortunately, it all ends just as it gets good. With limited stages and no free camera control, you'll sometimes miss jumps or misjudge distances, leading to some light frustration. Still, Pile Up Box by Box succeeds in delivering a heartwarming cooperative experience perfect for families. This game may be short, but sweet, and worth playing if you're looking for something light, creative, and filled with laughter. At number 8 we have Technotopia, a turn-based cart-driven city builder set in a futuristic world where you guide an artificial intelligence named Iris to create a balanced metropolis. Combining strategic planning with narrative depth, it challenges you to manage 4 competing factions while unlocking new buildings and opportunities with every run. The core gameplay revolves around placing cards, representing buildings or actions, next to existing structures on a grid. Each card has unique effects, tailored to specific factions, requiring careful planning to optimize resources and space. Your choices are further shaped by daily events, offering rewards that can shift your city's trajectory. Balancing faction demands, like government support or elite preferences, is essential as escalating expenses push you to strategize efficiently. The game excels in its visual style, blending retrofuturist and Art Deco aesthetics into stunning cityscapes. The card designs are equally impressive, and the intuitive UI ensures you always know what your decisions impact. Sound design adds life to your metropolis, complemented by a futuristic soundtrack that, while captivating, could benefit from more variety. While the gameplay loop is engrossing, the rapid expense increases can feel overwhelming during early runs. A clearer list of unlockable buildings and pathways to achieve goals would enhance the experience. Similarly, the characters and narrative, though intriguing, lack depth and voice acting, which might leave you craving more personality. Despite these minor shortcomings, Technotopia delivers a unique and rewarding experience. Its blend of strategy, creativity, and storytelling ensures that every run feels fresh and challenging, making it a must-play for city building enthusiasts. At number 9 we have LUNARK, a 2D cinematic platformer that harks back to the 90s era of gaming, serving as a heartfelt love letter to classics like Flashback and Prince of Persia. The game follows the journey of Leo, a courier caught in a totalitarian regime after being wrongly accused of terrorism. As you navigate this neon-soaked sci-fi world, you must fight back against the system to uncover the truth. The game's unique feature is its gorgeous pixel art and phenomenal rotoscope cutscenes, which bring the oppressive Blade Runner-inspired atmosphere to life. You'll encounter vibrant environments from dilapidated inner cities to high-tech trains, all filled with interesting NPCs. However, you must prepare for a steep learning curve. The movement is intentionally methodical. Because it prioritizes animation over instant responsiveness, you cannot simply rush. If you try to jump or stop too quickly near an edge, you'll likely fall to your death. Combat requires similar patience, as turning to fire your gun can feel sluggish. However, you can upgrade your weapon and health by finding orange shards for an NPC named Hugs. You'll face diverse threats, including laser-wielding robots and missile turrets, often using clever mechanics like reflecting projectiles. While the controls might feel clunky to modern players, they reward precision and timing. If you embrace its retro soul, you'll find LUNARK to be a compelling, stylish adventure that successfully modernizes the cinematic platformer genre without losing its challenging, old-school identity. At number 10 we have Dropsy, a surreal text-free point-and-click adventure that places you in the oversized shoes of a grotesquely illustrated yet profoundly kind-hearted clown. After a tragic circus fire leaves your reputation in tatters and your father ill, you must navigate a world that views you with suspicion and fear. Your primary objective is not destruction, but the simple radical act of spreading joy through hugs. The game's unique feature is its commitment to visual storytelling. Since there's no written nor spoken dialogue, you communicate entirely through a system of pictograms and symbols. This design choice forces you to interpret the needs and sorrows of the diverse NPCs you encounter, from city dwellers to desert wanderers. While this can lead to moments of moon logic where puzzles feel obtuse, it successfully immerses you in Dropsy's unique, often misunderstood perspective. Visually, the game utilizes a grimy, detailed pixel art style reminiscent of 1990s classics like The Secret of Monkey Island. It balances horror-tinged imagery with genuine warmth, supported by a rich, jazzy soundtrack that shifts to match the atmosphere. You aren't alone on this journey. You're joined by animal companions, like a faithful dog who help you solve environmental puzzles. Although the open world structure and day-night cycle can occasionally lead to frustrating backtracking, the emotional payoff is significant. If you can look past the grease paint and bulging eyes, you'll find a deeply touching experience that rewards empathy over violence, proving that even the most unlovable characters deserve a hug. At number 11 we have Orten Was The Case, a hand-drawn Metroidvania adventure set in a fictional Swedish suburb. You play as Ziggy, a teenager who wakes up with a mysterious mark on his hand and a total lack of memory. Your goal is simple yet daunting. You have exactly 12 minutes to prevent a catastrophic explosion from leveling the town. The game thrives on a loop-based structure, where knowledge is your only permanent inventory. Every 12 minutes, the world resets, but you retain the clues, door codes, and character motivations you discovered. You'll spend your time navigating a grimy 2.5D world that feels like a living painting. The level design is dense, requiring you to master the town's shortcuts, sewers, and rooftops to maximize your limited time. While the narrative and aesthetic are captivating, the gameplay can be a bit polarizing. The controls feel intentionally wonky, making precise platforming and occasional combat encounters frustrating. You may find yourself struggling with depth perception due to the unique art style, often leading to accidental deaths and lost seconds. However, the game compensates with excellent quality of life features, including an automated logbook and a detailed timeline that tracks every event you witness. If you enjoy unraveling complex mysteries through observation and experimentation, this is a rewarding experience. It turns a tiny 12-minute slice of life into a deep, multi-hour puzzle where your brain, not your gears, is the key to salvation. At number 12 we have Undead West, a top-down bullet hell roguelike that draws heavy inspiration from classics like Enter the Gungeon. You take control of a gunslinger who, after being killed in a duel by the supernatural man in red, is resurrected by death to seek vengeance. To pay your debt, you must collect souls from fallen enemies to unlock an array of new weapons and outfits. The core gameplay loop centers on 6 stages, each culminating in a boss fight. You start every run with a basic revolver and a speed-boosting whiskey, gradually gaining power through boons dropped by bosses. However, you will find that the experience lacks balance and polish. You might struggle with inconsistent room designs where tight spaces make taking damage feel cheap. Furthermore, the absence of invincibility frames means a single mistake can instantly end your run. You'll encounter enemies that spawn unpredictably, sometimes directly on top of you, leading to frustrating hits. While the boss patterns are distinct and challenging, the boons you collect, such as fire or poison status effects, often feel unremarkable. Even interesting upgrades like homing bullets can be unreliable, as they may ignore the targets near your crosshair. Visually, the game offers a stylish Western aesthetic, but the mechanical flaws and a lack of variety in power-ups may hinder your long-term enjoyment. You'll find a solid foundation here, yet the game ultimately feels like it needed more time in the oven to truly compete with the giants of the genre. At number 13 we have Janosik 2, a retro-style action platformer Metroidvania. As a sequel to the well-liked 2023 original, this entry significantly expands the scope and polish of the series. The story follows Janka, Janosik's beloved, who has been kidnapped by the nefarious Baron de Blonde. After Janosik is stripped and imprisoned, you must rescue him, save Janka, and stop the Baron's plot with the help of new allies. The gameplay is a masterclass in variety, allowing you to switch on the fly between 4 distinct characters: Janosik the Highlander, Bogdan the Werewolf, Hugo the Vampire, and Janka the Bride. Each hero possesses unique equipment and abilities, such as double jumps, freezing enemies, and wall climbing, that you must combine to navigate large, masterfully designed levels. Exploration is constantly rewarded with treasures and secrets hidden behind subtle environmental hints. The controls feel tight and responsive, which is vital because the game provides a fair but firm challenge. While you will die frequently to lightning-fast hazards, frequent checkpoints ensure you never lose much progress. Visually, the maps are incredibly detailed with smooth animations that shine in both cutscenes and gameplay. Despite a minor quirk where I might accidentally consume potions while checking skills, the experience is overwhelmingly positive. It is a fast-paced, charming, and content-rich adventure. If you enjoyed the first game or simply love high-quality platformers, Janosik 2 is an excellent sequel. At number 14, we have Glitchhikers, The Spaces Between, a surreal lo-fi exploration of liminal spaces, those quiet in-between moments that exist on highways, trains, airports, and hiking trails. You arrive at a strange convenience store with no memory or direction, and from there, you can choose your next journey. Maybe you'll cruise along a starlit freeway, ride a lonely train, or wander an empty park. Wherever you go, you'll meet travelers or hitchhikers, each with their own story, pain, and question about existence. These encounters aren't just small talk, they're deep, often philosophical reflections on life, loss, disability, purpose, and connection. You'll respond through short dialogue choices that gently guide the tone, but there's no right or wrong answer, only conversation and thought. The game's low-poly visuals and soothing synthwave soundtrack create a meditative dreamscape that feels both peaceful and haunting, like floating through a memory. There's no action, no score, and no real destination. And that's the point. Glitchhikers is not about completing something, it's about being present in the spaces between. It invites you to slow down, listen, and think about your own transitionary moments. If you love walking simulators, chill ambient music, and existential musings, this game will speak to you deeply. If you're looking for excitement, you might find it frustratingly aimless. Glitchhikers, The Spaces Between, is strange, beautiful, and profoundly human. A quiet journey, worth taking, one night at a time. At number 15, we have Ion Shift, a high-octane 2D action platformer that casts you as the ultimate organism, an agile xenomorph-like creature fighting for survival within a hostile scientific facility. This indie gem delivers a brutal yet rewarding experience that blends precision movement with chaotic sandbox-style combat. If you enjoy the punishing difficulty of titles like Super Meat Boy or the kinetic violence of Hotline Miami, you'll feel right at home in these claustrophobic corridors. The core gameplay centers on your incredible mobility. You don't just walk, you dash, crawl through vents, and cling to any surface with predatory grace. This dash is your primary tool for both evasion and offense, allowing you to weave through traps or smash directly into soldiers. You are equally fragile. A single stray bullet or buzzsaw will end your run instantly. This glass cannon dynamic forces you to master the environment. You can use throwables to distract foes, or more satisfyingly, manipulate the game's friendly fire mechanics to trick turrets and guards into annihilating each other. Visually, the game utilizes a striking HD 2D aesthetic, combining pixel art textures with 3D modeling and modern neon lighting to create a moody sci-fi atmosphere. While the narrative is light, the focus remains squarely on skill mastery. With 4 difficulty settings and a punishing impossible mode, the game constantly challenges you to improve your personal best. Ion Shift is an unapologetically tough, stylish, and immensely satisfying journey that proves you're indeed the perfect organism. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle is a massive loot drop for indie hunters, though it sparked some heated lobby chat. At just $1 a key, you're snagging gems like Rocket Rats, Necroking, and the DISTRAINT series. While some critics call it shovelware or mid-tier compared to the OG bundles, others swear by Dropsy as a top-tier recommendation. It is a solid XP farm for your Steam library, Perfect if you're looking to grind through fresh, weird, and creative indies without breaking the bank. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.